All right, and we're live. Thank you for joining us on this afternoon. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. I'm Joshua Paul with SampleServe. We do this every Wednesday, and if you find anything helpful, make sure you leave something in the chat, question or comment. And if you find this video, if you think you know somebody that this video would be helpful to, make sure you give this link a share to them as well. Today I have with us, I got Paul Goodrow of Noren Partners, and I have Russell Schindler, CEO of SampleServe. They have a lot of combined years in the environmental services industry. I'm going to let Paul give us a little brief description of what we do here.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Josh. So, yeah, thank you for joining us, and please share this with others if you think it's appropriate. Our goal really every week is to share tips and other ideas that might help you become more effective with our solution. And we truly believe that, the digital revolution is here. Digital transformation is being taken up by all consulting engineering firms and laboratories. And really the first adopters, I think, will be the ones that can differentiate themselves in the marketplace. And so this is one tool of many that you as a professional could use to enhance your service delivery to a customer. And we'll talk a little bit about the customer and how the customer benefits from our solution. So please join us. This is really for you to help you become more effective, a better user of the system, and to drive your digital transformation within your firm or for yourself.
Perfect. All right, let's take it on here. We got some SampleServe news that we've been posting out. I'd like to get this news out of here. Russell, tell us what's been going on.
Yep. So we did mention this stuff last week, but we've actually signed a partnership with Eurofins. So what they're going to do is essentially take a copy of our app, the thing you see behind me here, and put their brand on it. So and we're offering that to other labs as well. So Eurofins is one of the first people to sign up, and they're obviously one of the biggest labs out there. So we're real excited to be partnering with them. Mm-hmm. And so you'll see that roll out here somewhere around the first of the year. You'll see one of their, they'll be marketing their own product, but it'll look strangely similar to ours. And then we also signed an agreement, and we're about ready to roll it out with the state of Texas, where we're going to be managing all the samples for all the municipal drinking water samples for the entire state of Texas. So we're pretty excited about that. It's a big win for us. We're also going to be we're in the midst of talking to some other states as well to do similar things in other municipalities. And then we signed an agreement with In Situ to partner with them on supply and rental equipment. So because in our system, we know almost everything about your project, you'll be able to just with one click order all your supplies and rental equipment that you might need for that project very simply and easily, and be able to then capture that order and add it to your invoice for that particular project. So it should really streamline that kind of operation.
Nice. Some exciting news. So today we want to give you guys a special in-depth conversation about some real-life stories that Russell and Paul have experienced back in the day before there was digital tools. And they want to share some of the experiences that they had, and we want to show you how SampleServe can solve a lot of those problems that existed back in the day, and for a lot of firms that are not using digital tools in the field and in the office right now. So first story, Paul or Russell, you had a good story that you had quite kind of back in the day before you started using SampleServe, and this is also one of the reasons why you started developing the tools for that SampleServe has, right?
Yeah. So SampleServe started out as a sampling company. We were literally hired by other firms to actually go and do physical sampling, and that's really kind of the driving force of why we know so much about sampling and have developed tools to really make the job easier. But in this particular job, we had actually mobilized out to Massachusetts to do a big project out there. And, we got out there, it took us a while to drive out there from Michigan. So we drove there, we had all of our equipment with us and everything. And we get on site starting Monday morning, got there, and the project managers for a large national firm, I will not mention their name, but they hadn't even decided on the scope of work by the time we got there. They just told us like, hey, we got like 55 wells we're going to sample. We knew we were going to be there for a whole week. And so Monday morning, 8 o'clock, they hadn't even decided like which wells they want to sample. They're like, hang on, we're going to figure this out. And which I thought to me, like, you said it was 55 wells. Like, you should, how did you count that unless you had it worked out? Anyway, long story short, it was probably 11, 12 o'clock, and they still hadn't figured out what they wanted to do. And I just went in and because when we bid things, it was just a lump sum. We gave them a per sample cost. And so the more time that I was spending doing nothing, then I was losing money. So anyway, I just literally went and pled with them. I'm like, please, I don't need to know all 55 wells right now. I just need to know one so that we can start working. So just give me one well to start sampling. And, so then finally we just went and then came back, got another well, and we had 2 people out there. So we were, just give us each one well. And then finally, by the end of that day, they had figured out the whole week's worth of sampling, and we were able to proceed from that point on. But, it's just the whole planning process was not done very well. And it's because they were doing it all on paper. And that same project, the maps that they had were horrible. We only had one map between 2 people. So that was a problematic, big fold out map. And the map was not very good. And I can remember one day we were done sampling, and I'd come back into the kind of this office they had, and they, one guy had seen me out in the field. He's like, "What was that well that you were just sampling?" And I'm like, "Well, it was, MW. I don't remember the number, but I was like, it's MW9." And he was like, I had already labeled all the samples and everything MW9, and he's like, "No, it wasn't. That wasn't MW9. It was some other well. That's not one of the wells we're sampling." And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure it was MW9. And then we got out the map, and he shows me, and it's like the MW9 was on the other side of this road. And I'm like, I can't believe I literally lost sleep that night, because I'm like, Russell Schindler, like, sampled the wrong well. How the hell did that happen? And, I couldn't believe that I made a mistake like that. And so I literally was awake all night long. And I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I realized, like, I took photographs of all these locations. And so I literally would go, and at that time I was, doing it on my phone. I'm literally going through my phone, and I find the well, and I look at the picture. I still have that picture. I saved it. And it actually says MW9 on the well. So even though the map showed it on the other side,
the label
thought it was MW9 because it literally said MW9 on the well.
Was the map wrong, Russell?
The map was wrong, right?
Oh,
and
okay.
So anyway, I don't know what was wrong, whether they labeled it wrong or the map was wrong. I don't remember those details, but I was just like, from that, then I was able to go to sleep because I'm like, all right, I didn't make a mistake. It was the situation there. So, and the point I'm making is that, with the digital tools we have and the GPS function and, the ability to capture photographs and make maps off of GPS, those types of mistakes, if you use our tools properly, just won't happen again. So that's really the whole story is like, if you have pictures, you have GPS, and the GPS of where the sample is, and then because of mobile devices, where you're standing. If your icon is not right next to the well you're supposed to be sampling on the mobile device, you're probably at the wrong well. So
let's go through how that firm should have handled this sampling event.
Right.
So I'm showing you right now. This is a SampleServe's project management tool, and this is where you would set up all those events and set up the work scope that would be pushed to the mobile field app that all the field techs would have. It would be you in hand with your mobile device in the field. So what they could do is they could add all these sites into the project management tool with GPS locations on them.
Yep.
You can see that right here, GPS locations on these sites. And then you can plan out this event. You can grab all the kinds of tests from your lab. You can set up forms in here as well. And everything, once you hit save, gets pushed to the mobile field app. And then, Russell, you would have one of these in your hand and everybody would have a map because it's built right into the app right here.
Yeah.
And you can see where everything's at. And
Yeah.
also, if you click into the well,
It's got pictures.
there could be pictures of the well
Yeah.
that you upload as well. If you
And you would-
previously sampled,
In that instance, you'd see that it said MW9 on it.
right, it would say the right thing. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And also, if you're having trouble finding it, there's directions, just like Google Maps. You know, if I was closer to this well, you would see where I was at on this map as well, and you'd be able to find it real easy, clearly and simple.
Yeah, and then it tells you like what parameters you're collecting, how many bottles, and then it prints the labels, right at the time of sampling. So, you'll have everything. And the labels actually tell you like what bottle each label goes on. So
Yeah,
it's really, it just dumbs it down for you.
All right. Well, aren't you glad that's not going to happen to you ever again?
You never sampled the wrong well, Russell? Is that what you're saying in your career?
Not to my knowledge.
That's
And I'm
good.
serious. I don't think I've ever sampled the wrong well. And might have happened, but no one pointed it out to me. So now I've had employees that have sampled the wrong well, and we had to go back out to the site and resample them. And on our dime.
Didn't we have a client just recently, Russell, that we had to demonstrate that we had sampled the right well, or the consultant had sampled the right well by looking at the scope of work and the pictures and stuff?
Yeah, what it was, and the nice thing about it is we actually have the original location of the GPS of the sample location or the well, and then when they hit the sample button to print the labels, we actually capture another GPS. And in this particular instance, somebody, I forgot who it was, accused the sampling technician of sampling the wrong wells. They said they had two wells switched. And we were able to pull up the metadata, through which anyone can pull up through the platform. And it will tell you like the sample location and then the GPS of where the tablet was when they hit the sample button. In those instances, the person was standing, 6 feet away, and the sample locations were 200 feet apart. So we were able to show like they sampled the right well, because the labels are then printed at that time. So you can't mix up labels when you only have one set of labels at each location. So we were able to, I went pretty 99.99% sure we sampled the correct wells.
Yeah, good. Okay, Josh, let's keep going, man.
Oh, what do you got? You got any stories about being in the field or managing sampling events?
Well, the stories in the field I kind of forgot. It's been so long ago, but I can tell you that I spent most of my career with clients, and there's three things that clients want. And I'll say they're consistency, assurance, and cost.
Right.
And so, when you look at a digital solution, you're going to deploy that across a sampling team, maybe 3 or 4 people. The consistency comes in the scope of work, the forms, the bottle orders, everything you do to create your scope of work puts the sampler on the same page, and each one of them on the same page. And you're going to generate the same data. I mean, you're not going to do pH on one well and not pH on the other, or conductivity on one and not on the other. You're going to generate, it forces you to generate and collect that data so it's consistent. The other part is assurance. And Russell, you just gave an example of assurance. You could look back into the data, and if someone questions the well location, how many samples you took, if you took the right samples, the right bottles with you, where you were when you sample it, all that allows you the assurance that says, this data is good. And, you'd lose that if you didn't have a digital solution for sure. Mm-hmm. And the last thing is cost. And we haven't really talked about that, but, this solution really does cut down the cost of the sampling activity itself. And Russell, you'd mentioned that back in the day, you were, pricing on unit price or lump sum or daily rates. That continues to be a place that clients are driving consultants to be. So consistency, assurance, and cost, those three things are supported by our solution and by many other digital solutions, but specifically for sampling, SampleServe provides that functionality for you as a sampler. So
you mentioned the the data assurance, essentially, SampleServe facilitates, everything digital, everything's immediate, real-time updates. And one of the nice things about using the field app is that you can share the chain of custody and field data immediately as soon as it's created. Let me show you this little video here, and this goes over our chain of custody. This can be sent to the client, can be sent to the lab, can be sent to anybody. As soon as it's generated, you can just type in anybody's email, and this comes in as a PDF or a CSV file that people can anybody can look at that you want. And as well,
it comes right from the mobile device while you're out in the field, as long as you have connectivity.
Yeah, it happens right in the field when you're done. And then here's an example of the field form data. This is blank right here because obviously this is just from a demo site, but you can share this instantly with your clients and with anybody that you want, and it's going to have all the data in there and photos, any kind of this is low flow right here, but this is going to be available from the project manager to anybody that they can share it to immediately as soon as it's done. And that's nice because a lot of clients, they want to see stuff happening in real time. They want to know that you're working on it, and they want to know that you're doing it right.
Well, there's been many instances and anecdotal stories told to us from our clients that they were able to correct misentered data, or in one instance somebody was actually sampling the wrong well, and they were able to tell before the person left the site because they saw the pictures and they're like, that's not the right well. So
right.
So that's a nice thing about being able to share the information right from the field.
Yeah, imagine the cost savings of not having to go back out there again and redo these samples.
Yep.
Okay, I think we're gonna end right on time. Paul, we started a digital partnership program, and so what we're doing is we're asking anybody that's adjacent or directly involved in the environmental services to form a partnership with us, because SampleServe is becoming the central hub of environmental services that you can, everything revolves around, we like to say we're the Amazon of environmental services. So Paul, give us a little description on what partnering with SampleServe involves.
Right. Well, coming from a consulting background, I see the direct value it provides consultants. Obviously, we talked a little bit about that. But then, we started looking at the markets and assessing, who could benefit from this. We found that different partners could benefit from different parts of our solution or all of it. And so if you look at the in situ example that Russell gave, there's a part of our solution, it's really around the project management planning and scoping that client, that partner can benefit from. And so that piece, we feel will be a strong value to equipment supply companies. So that's one thing. The bottom line is, when you look at digital solutions versus consulting solutions, digital solutions can be much more agile and can be delivered in different forms to different clients, in our case, partners. So we're tailoring our solution within SampleServe, the full solution or part of the solution, for specific partners. And we'd like you as a partner, if you're listening, to join us, and we can tailor our solution for your business case and bring business value to you.
Right. And Sampling V and Sample Log is our environmental app. That's what we usually cover here on Wednesdays. But we also have other solutions. We have Sample H2O, and that's driven towards municipal drinking water laboratories that are dealing a lot with individual drinking water samples, as well as Sample SWR, which deals with wastewater testing, any kind of effluent testing that if you want to test for any kind of diseases in there. And I think, Russell, we're going to do next week about Sample H2O, correct?
Yep, we're going to specifically talk about our municipal drinking water sampling program.
Yeah, it's going to be a special episode. We got a special guest joining us as well. So I think we covered it there, guys. I think we're ending right on time for once. So congratulations on that, Paul. And then anything to add?
That's it for me.
All right.
I was hoping Paul would tell a story about when he was riding a horse to a site.
Yeah.
Back in
Horse
the
and
day.
buggy.
Horse and buggy.
Yeah, if you don't got pictures, it didn't happen. Okay, we're gonna end it there. Thank you guys for joining us. Keep a lookout for the link for next week's, and